Alright, this video is about depression. Um, how to deal with depression.
I'm gonna add some tidbits if you want me to.
Yes. We'll read the message, parts of it, respond back. Hi Freddie, hope all's been well with you. I've been following your channel every day. My life is a mess. I've always been taken advantage of no matter how much I've been nice and helpful to others, and always been there to put my problems aside for others. Till one day I decided I had enough and focused on myself, and it did not make me feel any better, but worse from the backlash I got from the change. Anyway, my girlfriend of 6 years is Taiwanese, and she's a police officer. She recently got a job offer for a relocation and said yes without even discussing it with me or anything, and we had a fight about it, and then it soothed over, and I've been severely depressed ever since, and this was some months before 2018. Recently I found out that she can cancel the transfer, and through my depression I've been severely depressed. It's affected my training and my diet, etc. And there are times when she asks me what's wrong, and I mention the other things in my life, like my social issues and other things, but I'm afraid to bring up the option that she could cancel the transfer because she might get angry again at me about it. Specifically, when she finds out I asked the police department about it, and they themselves told me that I should discuss it with her. I don't know what to do, and I feel trapped because the place she's moving to is a boring, dry island place where I feel like a minority, because it's all aboriginals there. I'm not racist, and there's no good Asian food stores there or anything, and it's a huge change. If I go, I'm going to suffer there miserably for 2 years, and if I don't go, I'll feel a lot worse. I don't know what to do, and I feel trapped, and nothing I can do or say like anything else in my life. Second is my social issues. I can't seem to get along with anyone, no matter how much I try. No one cares about how I feel at all, and it hurts when I see them care about others. Even conversation-wise, I'm not the best at it. I stopped being on Facebook as often when I saw that friends on there weren't really friends. And I had to be the one to initiate it. And I feel like they're forced to talk to me. I'm severely depressed from everything in my life, and I can't do anything about anything I feel, but my girlfriend's job transfer is the biggest thing. And she's going there from the 15th to the 17th this month for housing, and I feel I'm running out of time. I will close here. Hope everything in your life has been going well for you. Alright, what's your feedback? You got feedback? Or do you want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
First off, I don't think things are nearly as bad as he makes it out to be. Having a girlfriend for 6 years, I think, is a blessing. As long as the relationship is good. But when it comes to jobs and relocations and things like that, that can make or break a relationship for sure. People will head towards their passion in their careers, and sometimes they'll put their careers before their partner, depending on how serious the relationship is. My main thing is you gotta talk directly to your girlfriend and let her know how you feel. Pretty much everything you told me, or you could just share her the message that you sent to me and talk to her directly about it, because she's the only one that can really give a resolution to the whole situation. Based on that communication will dictate whether or not you guys should stay together and relocate, or have her cancel the relocation. I also recommend to speak to a therapist if possible, and have both of you speak to a therapist together. I think there's a lot of things that you need to speak to a professional about in order to get your head in the right place. These therapists are being paid to do this as a profession. They get paid lots of money to work with people with these types of issues, and they can really help you out. And I think your insurance, if you have insurance, they'll even pay for it. But as far as my feedback is concerned, if I was the therapist and I had somebody tell me this stuff, I would say, in my eyes, meditation is the key, towards freeing yourself from any sort of depression. That's based on my experiences, but it's not necessarily the case for everybody. But from another perspective, from my perspective, I think it's not necessarily a bad situation to be in. It just requires communication. Sometimes you date somebody and they find a job that they love and it changes their path in life, and you might end up having to break up over it. That's just part of what happens sometimes. Sometimes when people have kids, they give up their career over it, or people decide not to have kids so they could go after their career. Some people choose their partner over the career. Other people choose the career over the partner. You guys should talk and discuss like which option is best, or how she feels based on how you feel. As far as the social situation is concerned, I think if you want to better yourself socially, you can put forth effort towards studying books and material to help you with your social skills. Reading up on it, researching it, and practicing techniques on how to be better at socializing with people, I think is a good idea. I think it's a skill set, kind of like public speaking. There's a lot of people out there that are not comfortable speaking publicly, but doesn't mean that they can't get better at it. So just because you're not that good socially doesn't mean that you can't get better at it. And Facebook, I don't even recommend to even waste your time on that, really. But to really deal with people and talk to people in a direct manner, I think is the best for your development. But really, depression is something that's all mental to me. And with the practice of meditation, it'll help you free your mind from all these excess thoughts in which to come at peace. What do you have to say?
I guess I can offer a couple things. I don't know the background or the duration of what the viewer is dealing with, the severity of the depression or how long it's been, and I'm in graduate school right now for professional counseling and dance movement therapy. And one of the things that I will speak on is the first thing that we have to do as human beings, or that we should do, is to come to know ourselves, and I mean, it sounds like this subscriber, he has taken into consideration the desires and the wishes of his girlfriend. May have been taken for granted, and put a lot of attention and focus on people and situations outside of himself. People in situations that he cannot control, and I would invite him to begin to focus on himself. And the girlfriend, she might or she might not take his feelings into consideration when they have the talk. She might change her mind and decide to cancel the transfer. However, she might get angry again and say, I'm taking the transfer because this is what I want to do. And this is the thing, we all have our purpose in life. We all have a reason that is larger than self as to why we are here. A lot of us, we may not have a clear picture of what that is just yet. Many of us, we do. However, whatever that purpose is, we have to be true to self and choose to live out our purpose. If it's his girlfriend's purpose to go to this new place, to meet a new people, perhaps there's someone there who she's supposed to help. You can't disrupt a person's purpose, just like her decisions should not disrupt the subscribers. So what I would suggest is hone in on self. What is it that, and I'm speaking to the subscriber now, what is it that you want out of life? What do you feel your purpose is? What is the thing that you are passionate about? And if you don't know the answers to these questions, then perhaps you should take some time to evaluate these things. If depression has been something that has been a regular in your life, there are many professionals out there who can help you, who can help you to sort through the things, why you're depressed, what you're depressed about, how you can come up out of it, and you can do this without drugs. For some bouts of depression, there is a hormonal influence. So you are secreting a certain hormone that causes you to feel depressed because of the stress or the state of mind that you may be in. So drug therapy might be there. However, I find that if you change your perspective on life, if you change your habits, if you change your way of thinking, if you can shift your perception and focus on things that make you happy, not your girlfriend, not your friends, not the people on social media, but the things that bring you joy, this can shift your mood. And if you're working with a professional, you partner with this professional, and they can help take you through different steps and different exercises and things to help you not only to feel better and get better, but to even shed some light on what it is that you truly want to do with your life. Because you may find that, your passions and the things that you really want to do, it may positively change and impact your life forever. So you have to be honest with where you are and how you're feeling. If you're really not comfortable with making a big move, then it is something that, having a girlfriend for 6 years, I would hope that you both can trust each other to be honest and to talk about things like this. And and then secondly, I would say really focus on self, focus on yourself. And there are many types of therapists who can actually help you to sort through these feelings that you're having, even the social issues that you're having. There are psychotherapists out there who can help. There are psychologists who can help. There are dance movement therapists / professional counselors who can help as well. And mind you, dance movement therapy, it is not you having to be a dancer. It is dance / movement therapy. There may be something in your psyche or something that's unresolved, and you're wearing it in your body, and it affects the way you sit, the way you walk, the way you work out, the way you train. You may have pain in your body that you don't have to have. And the DMT can help you to change your movement pattern so that you can begin to feel better, and then even that can change your thought and the way that you perceive the world. So So I wish you the very best. I would encourage you to seek out a professional who can help you in this situation with your depression, with your social anxiety and social issues. And, even with, the sadness that you're experiencing and being unsettled in the areas that you are with your relationship and just with the way that you view yourself at this time. So I wish you the very best. We wish you the very best. And that you find peace and true joy as you seek out the purpose in your life. But yeah, definitely talk with someone. That's all I have to say. Off video.
What?
Off video.
Off video.
Me off video. I'm not in the camera. Off camera. Off camera.
I guess. I think he should be thankful that he's in a relationship for so long.
Absolutely. However, we don't know the nature of the relationship, though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna be in it for 6 years, obviously there's some benefit to it. Because you could decide not to be in it.
That's true.
I mean, I know so many people that never in relationships.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, being in a relationship is like having a car. And then the car kind of, you gotta take a mechanic and you get sad about it. But at least you got a car.
Yeah.
And then there's people that don't have cars. So it's like people that aren't in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think it just requires a lot of communication.
It does, but if at the same token, if the two people in the relationship are not whole, like say one person is whole but the other person has unresolved feelings about a lot of stuff, it's not healthy for that person. So relationships are wonderful, and I love being in a relationship. However, he's shared a lot of things that he is not happy about. And though he's been in a relationship for 6 years, he's experiencing depression for some reason. I'm not saying it's the relationship, but there's something going on within his life or within himself that's causing all of this anxiety, the depression, the sadness, and then the things that he shared in the email. And so what I'm merely saying is, address those things. Don't ignore them.
But I guess he's talking about the main sadness is the relocation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she didn't
Talk
to him.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what it boils down to is the sadness is essentially afraid to lose somebody.
Mm.
And that's common. I mean, that's a common sadness for anybody in a relationship to have.
Yeah.
To lose somebody that you don't want to lose.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much an inevitable drawback of all relationships. Not wanting to lose somebody that you're close to.
Yeah.
So the time will come. I mean, even if it's not something like this, it could be death or anything like that. Of the person that you're into. I think it's just that because of the job, it's forcing her to make a decision that will impact him and their relationship.
Yeah.
That's making him feel depressed because it's a forced issue.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think even we discussed it before. Like, I never would want to be the one to hold you back from your career.
Yeah.
I mean, you were here in Chicago because of your career, not because of me. You know what I'm saying? So I would respect your decision, even though we're close. If your decision was to go for your career over what we have, I have no choice but respect that because that's where you started. You know what I'm saying? So that's a tough situation to be in. Just like with children, it's like you want to be closer with your child, but say your child really wants to go away for college, and they're not even asking for your money; they got a scholarship, and you don't want them to go, but that's what they want to do. How are you gonna hold them back from that? You know.
Yeah.
So, in this situation, if she really wants to go for her career, then it might be the time where they might have to break up. Or he goes with her and he's not happy, but then that's not fair to him.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to go there.
Yeah. So there definitely has to be communication, like a talk between the two of them. And this is the truth here. Honesty is difficult. However, it is the best thing for a relationship, because what it does is it 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 opens each person up to the heart and to the truth of the other. And so she was honest with him in what she wanted to do in the relocation. So, be honest with her. And, I always say talking and communication is a whole lot more effective than yelling and arguing.
But what it seems like, because especially since she's an officer as well, it seems like she's probably like the type A personality of the relationship. Like the one that's really like dominating the whole, like making the decisions.
Yeah.
And it seems as if he's playing the role, which is like the B role, where it's like almost like the one where this is more of the submissive role, in which to kind of just do whatever the head of the relationship is doing.
Yeah. Oh, there are different personality types. However, that still doesn't trump communication.
No, but what I'm saying is like even if they communicate, because it seemed like they tried to communicate before, but through her aggressiveness, she's like, I'm having my way. So it's kind of like in a relationship where somebody who's like dominating the relationship, like, no, it's gonna be this way. So either take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like the way that he's writing the letter, it seems like he's like, how like some of those women, they're like, they stay home, they just take care of the kids, and then the man just does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And then she's just there, and then she doesn't really have purpose. She doesn't feel purpose. Like, she stopped working. All she does is stay home with the kids all day. And the man's heading towards his dreams and aspirations, and she just doesn't have, it feels like a purposeless life.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the position that he feels like he's in.
Well, that's where it comes, self-actualization, because we all have purpose. It's just up to us as individuals to choose what we're going to do for ourselves, and to fulfill our purpose, our passion, what it is that we truly want to do in life. And then following that and being true to self, hopefully it will bring us closer to the people who we love and who we want to be with. However, at the same time, it may bring us to a different path. And the point that I'm making is, this lady, she is following her path, and from what was written, it seems like she's not allowing anything to stand in her way. And so what I'm suggesting is, if the communication does not work, or if it doesn't help, or if it seems impossible, and it seems for again, and I can only go from what was written. I'm not going to make any assumptions or be presumptuous in this situation. But this is where I was saying he has to do a self-actualization. He has to see what it is that he truly wants to do. Now, if he does this within the time that he has before she leaves, and he feels that it may be tolerable, that he could be happy with the relocation, then begin to look at the positives of moving, and how the relationship may grow, or because we don't know from one day to the next how life, or what is going to be dealt to us from life. However, at the same time, to live a lie within self and to go unfulfilled and to carry depression and anxiety, like, that is not good for the soul. It's not good for the spirit. And so all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that relationships aren't good. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is self-preservation comes first. Because if you are not healthy and whole, and this is on all facets, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of these things, relationally, if you are not healthy and whole, then it's very difficult to proceed in life, in a healthy and effective way. And so at the end of the day, I hope that something can be worked out with these two, especially if they love each other and they've been together for 6 years. And, however, he needs to address the things that are troublesome to him. And right now, the situation, because he said he's been having these social things going on with him, the depression, we don't know if he's had depression before or if he's just depressed because of the situation. From what you were reading, I heard you mention depression, but I didn't hear him say this situation is making me depressed. So that we don't know. But if it's something that he has been dealing with, or if this situation is causing it, it still is something that needs to be addressed as well. And I just hope that they can communicate and talk and work something out.
But another thing is, he never mentioned anything of what he does for work.
That's what I'm saying, self-actualization.
So
he never mentioned anything on his part.
So that's what I'm saying. I think maybe, would it be fair to say that a person shouldn't put their purpose in a partner?
Mm-mm. And I say that because if you stop your life to live for others, it is guaranteed that you will not be fulfilled. Now, what has happened, and I can say this in meeting you, I found that our purposes in life, that they line up. They brought us together. Literally, they brought us together. I came to Chicago, ended up moving in right across the street from you as you were doing what it is that you're purposed to do. And I moved here to do what it is I'm purposed to do. So, if he finds that he begins to focus on himself and the things he's passionate about and what his purpose is, he may find that it does align with the purpose of his present girlfriend. And if not, and I'm not wishing any bad, but if not, your purpose will align you with the right people. It will. And there is a fulfillment there that is inexplicable because you are living what your true essence is. So like you said, to ask her not to go, if that is her purpose, then it wouldn't be fair to her to not go, However, at the same time, it wouldn't be fair to him if he truly does not want to go, but he just abandons his purpose and his passions just to be with this woman, and meanwhile he's miserable and suffering inside.
But I think sometimes in a relationship, for the most part, there's gonna be, like, what they call, like, the head of household.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, she's got this job that's a police officer. She making $80,000 a year, and hey, they're transferring her. Then that's what she's gonna do. But say he's like a cashier somewhere, and he's making like $20,000 a year. Well, obviously, they're gonna have to go, if they're gonna stay together. He's gonna have to follow along suit because she's the head of the household.
Yeah. So the thing with that, because I know a lot of married couples, and that's the case. Like the the husband or the wife, because my best friend, a dear friend of mine in Atlanta, that was the situation. And, you know, she was relocated. The husband was still staying in Atlanta to get his affairs in order. And then he later planned to go and join her where she was relocated to. And mind you, what he did was they did research together to see, because she had a set job and he was still looking. So they sat together and they did research on the area where she was being relocated to, so that he could continue his education and what it was that he was striving to do. He could continue that in the new location. And so it wasn't him abandoning what his purpose is, but being in a relationship where they wanted it to work, they wanted to stay together. They sat together and they made a plan so that, you know, the relocation happened. She was there doing her work, and they did research together as a couple and found where, you know, he could fit in an institution where he could consider continue his education and moving towards his goal. So that, yeah, that can work. So that's what I'm saying. But the thing that is imperative, like you said, and like we've been talking about, is communication.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, she's not the one who wrote in to you. He did.
Yeah.
And so if he's willing to communicate and she is not, that's what makes it difficult. But if they can get to a point where they can sit and really talk about it, perhaps there's something, like if he's working or doing something where he can possibly relocate and continue the education or the job search or whatever it is that he's doing there, if he doesn't want to end the relationship, then that's something that can, like, there are a lot of possibilities, but the thing is, there has to be communication. They have to communicate. Tell her how he truly feels, and hopefully, you know, she's in a mood where she can talk and receive what he's saying, and maybe they can come up with a plan where they can both be happy and fulfilled doing what it is that they're passionate about.
Okay. Alright, so video is basically saying communicate with your partner. That's going to come to the resolution through discussion. And in my eyes, you know, see a therapist if you can. Get another perspective from a professional. And then, in my experience, practice meditation to get rid of these negative thoughts, you know, that lower your confidence, but enhance your meditative practices, and it will put you in a situation where you will feel less depressed and eventually get rid of the depression. Depression is caused by the mind, so learn to control the mind, learn to understand the mind, and don't let the mind control you.